The sharp crack of a hand striking weathered skin echoed through the diner, silencing the clatter of cutlery and the low hum of conversation. An old man, his back ramrod straight despite the tremble in his hands, didn't flinch. A single tear traced a path down his dark, wrinkled cheek. The aggressor, a man in a garish suit, sneered, his voice a venomous hiss. "Know your place, old man. Some of us are trying to eat here." The old man was Samuel Washington. At 82, his eyes held the quiet depth of a life lived through storms few could imagine. The faded emblem on his worn jacket hinted at a past steeped in honor, a past spent on distant shores where he'd worn the uniform of his country for 30 years. He remembered the weight of a fallen brother in his arms, the taste of dust and loss in his throat. His sacrifices were etched not in stone, but in the quiet dignity of his posture. He had served so that men like the one before him could enjoy the freedom to be cruel in a quiet diner on a Tuesday afternoon. The diner's patrons shifted uncomfortably, their eyes darting away, finding sudden fascination in their menus. Their silence was a heavy blanket, suffocating the air with unspoken complicity. The bully, emboldened by the lack of resistance, puffed out his chest. "What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?" he taunted, leaning closer. Samuel simply looked at him, his gaze unwavering. There was no anger in his eyes, only a profound and weary disappointment. He clutched a small, worn photograph in his pocket, a picture of a young boy in his arms, a boy he'd raised to be a protector. "A man's worth," he had always told his son, "is measured not by the noise he makes, but by the quiet honor he keeps." Just then, the diner door swung open, casting a long shadow across the floor. Two men in dark, impeccably tailored suits entered, their movements sharp and purposeful. They scanned the room, their eyes locking onto Samuel. The bully, annoyed by the interruption, turned. "Great. More interruptions. Don't you people know who I am?" The man in the lead, his face a mask of calm authority, stepped forward. His eyes, so much like Samuel's, were fixed on the bully. "I know exactly who you are," he said, his voice low but carrying an undeniable weight. "But the more important question is, do you know who you just assaulted?" He paused, letting the silence stretch. "You put your hands on my father." The bully's smirk faltered. The man's face was familiar, seen on television screens. This was David Washington, the Director of Homeland Security. The bully's face paled, the color draining away. The authority he had flaunted just moments before evaporated, leaving only a pathetic, trembling shell. David knelt beside his father, his expression softening. "Some battles are not yours to fight alone, Dad." Samuel simply squeezed his son's hand. The diner, once a theater of silent complicity, was now filled with a different kind of quiet, one of awe. People slowly began to rise from their seats, their gazes fixed on the old veteran, a silent standing ovation for a hero who had been hidden in plain sight. True strength isn't loud. It is the quiet resilience forged in forgotten battles and the silent dignity that withstands the fury of a world that has